Yo, what's good? It's your boy BigDonSkillz bringing you another video today, man. I just wanted to talk about the recent Joe Rogan situation. If you're not aware, he's been under fire for some comments he made about video games being a waste of time. And there's been a lot of flack from, gamers within the community, and there's just been a lot of like backlash. And although I think what he said is silly, I also believe it was taken out of context, and I think people should have probably watched a little bit more to understand where Joe was coming from. I also want to preface by saying that I also do think that Joe Rogan is the king of talking about things he doesn't know about as if he is an expert at it. Uh, he's definitely a know-it-all, and I've just always had a hard time watching his stuff, but at the same time, I think people are overreacting to this, and I watched a few minutes before and a few minutes after, and I'm going to play that segment for this video. So I'm going to play this segment, and I'm also going to tell you, what the clip is actually showing. So let's flip over to this real quick. Bloop, bloop. All right, so this is the article. It was from Dexerto. Dexerto, I never pronounce it right. But yeah, for you don't know, Joe Rogan, I know him from Fear Factor growing up. A lot of other people may know him from UFC. So him and Dana White are like super homies, right? So this is from his radio show, which, by the way, he got an insane deal with Spotify for this. So we're going to play this. This is a little bit before what he says. I'll pause the video and then announce whenever he makes his comments. So let's get it started.
There's a question, though. People that are listening to this, I found, I don't know if you agree with this, there were a ton of kids along the way growing up as I was building my business that would say, oh, I'm not into this, I'm not into that, kind of like you described yourself.
Yeah.
And they don't do anything because they're
Right.
looking for that thing. And I would argue, do something. Do fucking something until you find that thing.
Yeah, I've never been that kid though. I've always been into things. I always was into art, or I was into something. I always found things that I was interested in. Just none of them seemed like they were normal things that other people wanted to do for a living, like the path, like a career path. But I think that there's a lot of people that don't have any. There's no one. They're not modeling their life after someone that they see that they admire. Someone that's successful, someone that is doing something that they enjoy and love. Sometimes kids have to see that.
Right.
And if their parents are living a bullshit life and their neighbors live in a bullshit life and most of their family lives a bullshit life, they just fucking lay around.
Definitely a product of
And
your
then
own environment.
They seek refuge in drugs or video games or something that stimulates them.
Now, that was the part I wanted to show you before. Now is where the clip starts that everybody was upset at. So this wasn't even mentioned in the clip, but you see how he kind of positions drugs and video games into leading down a certain lifestyle. So here we go.
And video games are a real problem. They're a real problem. You know why? Because they're fucking fun.
Addictive.
And you don't, yeah, well, I have a real problem with them. And you do them, and they're real exciting, but you don't get anywhere.
Right.
It's like you could do, like martial arts, right? You could learn jujitsu. You get obsessed by jujitsu. And then 3 years later, you're like an elite jujitsu athlete. You're entering in competitions. You're a purple belt.
You're moving up.
Yeah, you're doing well.
Right.
You're thinking like, I might be able to open my own school one
You
day.
got confidence.
Yeah, if I have 100 students and those 100 students are paying me X amount of dollars per month, I can make a living. Holy shit, I can have this would be amazing. And then you see your jiu-jitsu school, and your jiu-jitsu instructor has all these students and drives a Mercedes, and he's got a nice family, and like, that's the future. This way, you're doing something exciting and fun, and you don't. Or you could just be playing fucking video games. 3 years later, you could be that same kid just playing video games, waiting for the next whatever the fuck game is, next Xbox game to come out, and you're gonna waste your time.
You have children.
All right. That's what I just started and where I stopped. Like I said, that's the clip that everybody's at. Now, like I said, there's a little bit more I want to show y'all. But before I get into that, everybody was upset that he mentioned that video games are dangerous because they're fun. And that's kind of where everybody took it at face value. They're like, well, that's so stupid. That's a dumb take because video games are something that people play for fun, which I agree with. And some people are just casual. They play with friends. They may hop on for a little bit and hop off. I think the part that's being taken out of context is that if you listen to the very beginning of the video, which wasn't part of the clip, he essentially mentions how some people don't have goals and then they resort to things that they don't really have to focus on life on, right? And one of the biggest problems of video games is like they said, it's fun and it's addicting. I've definitely had a point in my life where I was addicted to video games. Like, it's something that can consume you, and then before you know it, you're missing out on your social life, or friends, or just other things that you could be doing to utilize your time. Things are always good in moderation, but at the same time, when you do it too much, it can be a problem. Now, where Rogan really falls off in his argument is when he tries to compare it to opening a Brazilian jiu-jitsu school. And for all you don't know, Joe Rogan does MMA, so I'm assuming he probably does Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's probably why he brought it up. But yeah, he's a fighter. He can fight. So that's probably what his reference came from. But like, it's kind of a stupid example because, first of all, he made the statement a very blanket black and white statement, right? But then he contradicts himself by mentioning Brazilian jiu-jitsu, something that's just as rare, if not even rarer, than gamers that are successful. I just thought it just sounded weird. Like, it was just a really stupid comparison. It made no sense to me. Like, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like, is that what you're gonna say? Like, if someone wants to be an engineer or computer science, they have to go to school and, study for it. But like with video games, you can have a talent and you have to find a way to monetize it. It's still a very new thing. Streaming is a very new thing. YouTube is, I wouldn't say new, but a lot of these things are still in their infancy, especially streaming and video games. So I think it's a really silly take to be like talking down on video games and then saying as if you're part of it. And then in this next clip, you'll see how he acts like he knows about everything, but then he's asking dumb questions that he should know the answer to if he knows so much. So let's play a little bit more, and then I'll finish off of my remarks. So
I have children, and it's a big battle in the house. Yes. And my kids, I don't know if you're going through this, but my kids are now saying, "Well, Dad, this guy made all this money with this video game. He's
That's
a man."
real too. That's
right?
real too now.
So like, that's 1 in a billion, kid. Like,
I don't know if it's 1 in a billion, but look, I heard the same argument about comedy. My own parents were like, "Do you know how few people make it as a comedian?" I was like, "Okay, does anybody make it? Somebody makes it, right? They figure out how to do it. They make a living. I'm gonna do that. Just stop. Look, I know what I'm doing." I was real lucky that my parents were not around very much.
So do you see the contradiction there? It was like talking about the video games, but then we know how rare it is. But just like a comedian, being a successful comedian is even more rare. Being a guy who has his own podcast that got millions and millions of dollars from Spotify as a contract is even more rare. So I think he would have better worded himself had he said that people need to utilize their time with gaming more to try and turn it into something. If they're really passionate about something, this applies to literally everything in life. So whether it's Joe Rogan becoming a comedian, freaking me becoming successful in this gaming world, or you becoming successful in whatever you want to do, like, you have to put forward the effort and the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put forward the effort. So like, a lot of problems with gamers is that, like, when they start in streaming or in other, YouTube content or whatever, their whole idea is in their head is like, well, I like to play video games. It should be easy. I'll be good at it. So then when they make the content or they put content out, it's garbage. Or there's like no thought process to it. Or they don't see immediate results and all of a sudden they're doing follow for follow. You know what I'm saying? Or they're not doing things organically and they're not doing the proper research to better arm themselves in those situations. I think that's where Joe Rogan played himself, really. Once again, people were like really upset, and I don't think this is anything to be upset about at all. It's just gaming. People take everything. People are way too just over dramatic with stuff. They take it. They put 100 on 10. Dexter don't knew what they were doing. They took this entire thing out of context. And like I said, I am not a Joe Rogan guy. I got called out at work before for like saying, yeah, I don't like him. He does what he talks about. He never knows what he talks about, but he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. So people just like want to listen to him all the time. I've never really cared for his opinions. Like you got my boy like Omni's like garbage take. It's like, okay, yeah, but there's do people understand why this isn't a good take? I think people just got mad at the gaming part and didn't think on how this dude contradicted himself multiple times, nor did they even take the time to look at maybe 30 seconds before this clip and maybe 30 seconds after. Because you can tell where it started and ended that there was definitely something that led into these situations, man. You got to do your research on the internet, man, or else you'll be believing stupid stuff like this, man. Come on, man. We got to do better. You got to do better. But I had to mention out this tweet. This tweet made me laugh right here. This guy, dude. Man, Mahmoud. That man said, quit gaming 8 months ago. Bought a new car. I have an amazing new girlfriend. Okay. I made a shitload of money and I'm buying a house this spring. I party every weekend. I'm never home. I'm enjoying life. Do yourselves a favor. Stop trying to make gaming a career. It's cringe as fuck. And then this man had Twitch TV in his name. Oh my god, this is so lame, dude. So, stuff like that is funny. It's super funny. Apparently that was copy and paste. I just saw that, so maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, that's all I gotta say, y'all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Remember, man, always have an open mind when you look at stuff. Don't fall for the first thing, man. Open your mind. What's the meme where dude's like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta do the Big Don version of it. Let's go. Let's go. All right, but man, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. If there's more topics you want me to talk about like this, man, feel free to let me know. I like talking in front of the camera, man. Give me something to do, dude. I got more stuff coming up. Some of the recent Smash Bros situation. It's been divided into parts, and it'll be uploaded over the next few days. So, once again, I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to follow me on twitch.tv/BigDonSkillz, where I'm playing the best games in the world, including Ghost of Tsushima, Smash Bros, and others. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day, and I'll see y'all on the next one. And deuces. Bow.